Let's get it. Praise the Most High. It is another absolutely gorgeous day here in the Carolinas, and I'm so glad to see it. So glad to see it. This is the day that the Most High has made, in order for us to be glad in and rejoice. See, we can't take that for granted any day, because He didn't have to let us see it. But what I've learned is if He let us see it, then He has a purpose for it, for and through us. Because as a nurse told me one time, she said, Robert, if He brought you to it, He'll get you through it. So that's how I look at each day, that He's brought me to this day for a purpose, to get me through it, not only through it, but to thrive through it, to thrive in it, I say, living abundantly. And what I've come to understand, the abundant life is in and through Him. Enjoying this relationship we find ourselves having with Him daily. That's the abundant life. Like the text says, He is the, what did it tell Abram? I am your great reward. It's all about Him. He's the reward. Not no money, not no houses, not no cars, not no stuff. It's the creator of them things that is our reward. Because when we find ourselves in Him, as the text we said we would, find our very being in Him. And family, that's living. That's the abundant life. Hallelujah. Yes, indeed it is. And I'm so glad that I found Him before it was too late for me. I'm trying to find some shade. I plan on getting out and walking to the area where we usually do our recordings. It is absolutely hot out here today. We're gonna get it though. What was the text he had reverberating in my ruach? I was so glad when I heard them say, let us go into the house of the Most High. And he was just giving me a rundown on that idea that we might not always be able to get to a church or a mosque or an assembly. I was saying we can't always get to a church, a mosque, or an assembly, but we can always reach out and touch Him, because He always makes Himself available for us, right there in our hearts, as we are His temple. It's nice out here today. Nice little breeze going. Yeah, all right. Pardon me. I did have an absolutely wonderful idea for today. One that the Most High put on my heart. I believe the night before last. I was like, okay, Pop, how are we going to speak on it? Or when? Because I usually don't do a recording on the Shabbat. And by the way, Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
You on YouTube?
Yep.
Oh, can I get in?
Of course.
Hi. What's your YouTube?
Bobby Hollow.
Oh yeah, I saw. I'm already subscribed to you because you rode through my neighborhood on your bike.
Right, and y'all was walking y'all bike.
Yeah.
For sure. Y'all taking care of yourselves?
Yeah.
Y'all being good?
Yeah.
Or at least trying, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your
I
name?
gotta tell them something. My name's Prince.
Who?
Prince.
Prince?
Watch this.
That's right. I talked to you before, Prince. All right, Prince. You all right? You gotta make sure before you flip over that the concrete is clear. You should do it on the grass. What's your name, buddy? Jaden? All right, Prince and Jaden, y'all be good, man. At least try. Hollow. Bobby Hollow.
I'm gonna look that up.
Y'all be good. At least try, all right? Be safe. Yeah, those good fellas. They're in the neighborhood behind this park. They was out riding their bikes and walking them. And what we mean by walking them, they was popping a wheelie all the way up the street. And it is a skill that has to be acquired, which takes practice. And that's something we were speaking on this morning on our family chat about practice and faith. The question was asked, well, how could you overcome something you're saying that's not there? And the reality of it is you're not saying that it's not there. The symptoms of it is not there, but you're not claiming the illness or the sickness itself, or even being broke. What you are claiming, what you are receiving is what the Most High Word says about you. About that situation. See, the thing about it is we can't accept Hasatan's words of confession. Or should I say what he's trying to get us to confess? And I hadn't even planned to go this way today. And we'll stay right there. Because the question was asked, how can we say we're delivered from something if we don't name what we're delivered from? And that's a great question. As we was actually talking about the COVID, and my mother has had symptoms of it, and one of her family friends had caught the virus, I guess you would say. However, my mother had visited her, and she wasn't confessing the contracting of the virus. What she was confessing, and I later on backed up, was the symptoms. And that's what I said. I came back and said, my wife and I, when this thing first happened, we both had symptoms of what they said is going around, but we didn't accept the symptoms. Therefore, we can't accept the virus or whatever is going around. The bad flu, as my mother said, and what I've been saying the whole time, because it's like the flu has been thrown out the door. And pretty much the cold. Yet they're still selling the medicine for it, but you don't hear nothing else about it. But yeah, it's all about our confession and the practice thereof. That's what we were speaking on coming up. How those young fellas be out there on the block, going up and down the street, walking their bikes all day long, popping wheelies all day long. And they become real good at it, to where they can do it in their sleep, just like Prince did at backflip. It was just second nature to him, but what he didn't do, which he should have, is check his landing, where his hands was going to be placed. Praise the Most High, what a good idea. Good idea. Faith takes practice, it sure does. definitely does. And then we'll be able to say, I practice what I preach. See, that's what I told the Most High the other day. I said, Father, don't never let it be a point to where I'm not practicing what I preach, or what I say about myself, or what I say, period. And see, the Most High has been dealing with me all week about my mother and those symptoms, and the lady that she went to visit. Miss B, I was going to say Miss B. One of the ladies that was friends with my grandmother, that my mother took a liking to. They're neighbors. But, you know, when you're in the country, you know, everybody is family. Your neighbors are your family. Everybody in that neighborhood are family. And that's how they grew up. Whenever we go to visit my mother, we go and see Miss B. Because she's part of our family. But yeah, when she, and the question arose from me, why even take a test when you already know the reality of the test? You already know what it is. Yeah, you have symptoms, but why even take the test? Which a lot of people are saying that the quote-unquote virus itself is in the test. That you may even have symptoms of a bad cold or a bad flu, and you go get the test, and there you go, boom. Now you're all of a sudden positive. So good. But we're not going to concentrate on that today. We're going to speak on what we just thought of, what the Most High just presented. And that's practicing our faith. It's just like the Most High my father would tell us when he was coaching us out in our front yard, or in the middle fields between our yard and the other home. There was a big empty lot, and we would go out there and practice. And he'd go out there with the bat and hit the ball to us. And he'll tell us, not only when we was catching, but when we was hitting the ball, he said, keep your eye on the ball. Keep your eye on the ball and make contact. And see, we had to learn that. And we have to learn that in our faith walk also. And we got to keep our eye on the ball and focus. Because as I was saying on our family chat this morning, something is always coming to try to knock you off of your faith. In the Most High's words about you, your confession. But that's where the conversation spirit is set to, or towards our confession. And that's what it's all about. You are who you say you are. You have what you say. But you have to line up what you say with the Most High's word and what he means for you for that season. Because everything that word says for us is not for us throughout all seasons. When we start realizing that, we'll go to the Most High more consistently, seeking his face to what he would have for us for each season. And then our confession will consistently be lined up with his confession for us, or what he says about us, or is saying about us in this season. So some seasons we're going to go through where it's not going to be plentiful. Some seasons it's not going to be actually abundant in the physical plane, but we can always enjoy abundance in the physical, in the spiritual plane. But it takes practice to line ourselves up with what he's saying about us daily. It takes practice. And the Most High gave the example of the woman with the issue of blood, who had went around to all the doctors, who had gone out to all the doctors trying to get help, to the point where she was broke and still sick because her confession hadn't changed. And you might be saying, well, Robert, why hadn't that confession changed? Simply because she was listening to the same doctors who had the same degrees, who was taught by the same university, or the same school, the same teacher. This world system way of doing things. And yes, they have knowledge and skill in some of the ways they practice medicine, but they're not perfectionists as the Most High, the Creator is, or as we said in the family text. The question was asked, how can we say we have an issue resolved if we don't take the issue to the great physician? Those kids leaving with their parents, and this kid back here at the park telling me to come back to the park. I guess he's lonely now. But yeah, the Most High through us said that she didn't change her confession until she was changed her doctor. And see, her doctor was changed before she even met. Oh boy. It was changed in faith. See, what she did, she heard something. Oh boy. What did she hear, Robert? What did she hear? And as I wrote in the text, when we wrote, she heard that the great physician was on the way. So she heard that he was healing folks. Oh boy. She heard that he healed lepers. She heard that he healed everybody that he touched. Oh boy. Now I'm putting this in my own words, but the text says that she heard Yahushua was on the way. So of course she heard the stories about him that caused her to move. And she changed her confession. And she changed her confession from what the doctors were telling her about herself. Which, you know, when she went home, she was telling her family, well, this is what the doctor says about me. And like I said, we had said in the text, she was listening to each doctor, going to each doctor with new hope. And like I said, they all had the same practice that they were practicing, the same practice of medicine. But they gave her new hope because they all had new charisma. It was charismatic, right? And I also wrote a couple that reminds me of the church and how we have charismatic preachers that's attracting people because of their charisma. Pardon me. Because they're so outspoken, handsome, pretty smile, always seem to have the right words. Yeah, because they study, they practice the gospel. They practice preaching. They practice these things so well that they become good at it. But see, in these areas of practice, just like with the practice of medicine, it's not going to bring perfection, which is what we're designed. Holiness, peace, shalom, abundance. And as we spoke on coming up, the abundance is in Him. And see, that's the missing link from these doctors, some doctors I'll say, and from some preachers and preachers. I'm not going to put them all in the same boat. But some of them are listening to the Most High in their ear. As I had a couple of doctors that were, well, yeah, I said a couple. Couple means two, right? Oh boy. But yeah, she was able to get out from under their confession about her. And their charisma, their pretty smile, and see, that's what got her going. She kept hearing about it, the next doctor around the corner, kept hearing about the next preacher around the corner, kept hearing about the next preacher coming in revival, coming for the next conference. Oh, there she go, out running. Who that remind us of? That's who we used to be, running through them comments, back and forth. That's why the Most High just whispered in my ear. I'm so glad when I heard them say, let us go into the house of the Most High. And where is that church at, brother? Where is that assembly at? Where his temple? Where his temple?